Hey everybody! I just thought I would read outside today. It is a beautiful day. And so I set myself up out here on my back porch and I thought, why not look at the beautiful scenery while we read a good book today? So today the book I have for us is called The Squirrels Who Squabbled. Now, Miss Lori loves this one. And I'll tell you why, because it's got a really funny story. And I think, we see a lot of squirrels out these days. So I thought, why not have a good book about squirrels? So here we go. The Squirrels Who Squabbled. This was written by Rachel Bright, and it was illustrated by Jim Field. So here we go. The Squirrels Who Squabbled. Squabbled means argued. In a towering forest where summer had been, the leaves turned gold as a cold wind blew in. And as autumn arrived with a sky raging red, the sleepiest creatures got ready for bed. While up in a tree swung a flighty young squirrel, who everyone knew as Spontaneous Sorrel. Now, most foresty folk had seen to their needs through the plentiful months of mushrooms and seeds. They'd built up their stores so they'd all be well fed through the frosting of winter that glittered ahead. But Searle, he lived in the now and the here. He'd adventured and partied his way through the year, so his cupboard was empty, his hollow was bare. He hadn't a mouthful of food anywhere. But wait, what was that? Over there, take a look. A single lone pine cone wedged in a nook. He squealed with delight, and for very good reason, for inside were the very last nuts of the season. But Cyril wasn't alone. There was more hungry eyes. Yes, Plan ahead Bruce had his sights on the prize. Though he'd gathered fresh treasures over every sort, Bruce was convinced he was one pine cone short. I simply must have it, he wistfully cried, as he dreamt of the fresh, juicy pine nuts inside. So as Cyril set off on his way to the ground, Bruce, he was also last pine cone bound. They sprinted and scurried with no time to gamble. They scratched at the bark in their scampering scramble. But their panic and haste shook the tips of the spruce, and the pine cone, it trembled, and then it came loose. Both squirrels gave chase at a lightning pace. This was the start of a wild, nutty race. "It's mine!" shouted Searle. "No, mine!" hollered Bruce. "You don't stand a chance. Give up. It's no use." "I'm hungry," cried Cyril. "This cone is not yours." "Stay back," shouted Bruce. "This cone's for my stores." It boinged over bushes and flew through the air. It binged on the nose of a slumbering bear. It bounced over boulders, then came to a then teetered and wobbled and quivered and plop! Both squirrels followed. Oh, the water was fast. Would they learn that they needed each other at last? But each was intent on how he could win, so they didn't quite notice a bird swooping in. Cyril and Bruce, they watched in dismay as their cone disappeared up, 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 and away. "Come back," shouted Cyril. "They're our nuts," exclaimed Bruce. But all hope was gone. It was simply no use. And meanwhile, they drifted right up to the ledge. Greed, it was driving them. Over the edge. Cyril and Bruce, they had taken a fall. They were paying the price for wanting it all. They'd squandered their chances to team up and share. Would their nutty young hopes simply end in despair? Look at this cool page. Bruised and bedraggled, they swept past dry land. Cyril grabbed at a branch with a trembling hand. Catching Bruce with the other, he heaved and he huffed and pulled him to safety with panting and puffs. They dragged themselves up with sputtering wriggles. Then Bruce looked at Cyril and exploded in giggles. "How silly we are," he managed to mutter. "How greedy I've been," he proclaimed with a splutter. "We shall change from today. May the squabbling cease. We should celebrate, seeing we're both in one piece." From that day forward, they made a great pair. They would gather together and found they could share. Yes, Cyril and Bruce, they knew in the end the best things to share is a laugh with your friend. The end. I hope you have a lot of good laughs today, and I hope you enjoy the sunshine and the warm weather. I know that I am. And just have a wonderful week. Make the best of it, and I will see you next week.